y'all seen a lot of stuff in the news this week. And yes, we're going to touch on those topics. You know how we do, okay? So before we get started, let's go ahead and introduce this awesome co-hosting team, this machine we got going on here. We're going to start off with the beautiful, also elegant Erica. What's up, Erica?
Happy Thursday, guys.
Yay! And you already know the true boss of the show.
What?
Y'all already know. The nice and oh so sweet Tomika. Hey, Tomika.
Hey, everybody.
And the guy all y'all be looking at, keeping it real, Mr. B. Oh, I'm sorry. Blaine. What's up, Blaine?
Hola.
So yes, so tonight's topic is going to be great. We have some special guests coming. It's going to be just awesome. So I'm not going to delay anything. I'm just going to let you know that we just have something really good. So like always, call your cousin, call your auntie, call your friends. Go ahead and put that share at the bottom over there and share with everybody on your news feed, everybody on your friends list. Doggone, just call everybody, tell them to tune in because it's going to be very juicy and very informative. So
yes.
We're going to have Tomika to bring us up to date on our new guest.
Oh, so the introduction, do you want me to do that now or you want me to wait till she's coming on?
I mean, let's go ahead and give an introduction now of who's coming on now.
All right, so today we do have a guest who will be on the show with us, and her name is Tomika Blaine. My name is Tomika. Her name is Tomika. Tomika Bland, and she is a woman with many talents and many gifts. And so what brings her to the show is because she is a certified divorce and family financial mediator in Wake County. She has been for the past 6 years. And she also works with loss mitigation pre-foreclosure as a mediator for that, for a large governmental company, a mortgage lender. She is also a certified life coach, and she's been in this industry for about 10 years. She is a mom of 2. She has a beautiful son and daughter, and she's worked with countless individuals and families in all walks of life. And all of us have hit a bump in the road at some point in time in life, so she can kind of guide us through life with that information, as well as give us advice or give us suggestions as far as family custody and mediation. And she's currently pursuing her master's degree in marriage and family therapy. She also coaches and consults entrepreneurs, small business owners, as well as it's been proven their home life. You know, our home lives can affect our business life. So if your life is out of whack, then she's the one to call because she can help you get your life and business intact. So we will see Tomika in just a little bit.
And see, that's exactly why y'all need to call y'all aunts and your cousins and everybody.
Exactly.
They can touch on a lot of stuff, especially this custody stuff. So, and we all know, it's sad to say, but we all know someone who's going through some type of custody issue, who has like questions about it. And I mean, you know, this is why it's important that you help out your homie. Today is Help the Homie Day. You know what I'm saying? So click that share button at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen and share it with everybody, especially those people that you know are going through some custody issues, whether it's a father who wants to see their kids more or a mother who thinks that the father's going overboard. Hey, this is the show they want to watch.
Exactly.
But then they say help the homie, help the sister, help everybody that may be experiencing the same problems. Today's show is going to be informative, and it's not about belligerent anybody, but it's about good information going out, how you can help yourself if you're experiencing these problems or somebody else. So with that being said, we're gonna thank you.
Let's
Tomika.
go, Blaine.
No, Tomika just paused me. I actually forgot. So thank you.
What you think about that situation that was going on this week with what was the guy name who just got custody?
Matt Barnes.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Matt Barnes.
Okay. Oh, we got that. Okay, cool. Let's show that. I've been hearing about that all week.
All right. So Matt Barnes enjoys bowling outing with twin sons after winning custody battle against ex-wife.
Wow.
This is an ex NBA player for I think last team he played for was either the LA Lakers or the Golden State Warriors, whatever. I know his ex-wife is basically what's that show called?
Basketball Wives.
Exactly. and the woman, I mean the guy she's dating is his ex-teammate.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There was a scandal with that as well.
Okay.
Wow.
So with that being said, I mean the man's been trying to get his kids the whole time. He's been going through his battles. He's been going through his moments. He was finally awarded his kids. He's finally able to see him after paying probably millions of dollars. So this is situations that not only is in the spotlight for him as an NBA player, but something that happens every day on a regular with, basic regular guys. So that's why this show is very important for people to tune in, for people to share, for people to communicate with others, to help somebody else out that may be going the same problems. Maybe that guy is doing everything he's supposed to do, or maybe that woman is doing everything she's supposed to do, but they're not able to see the kid, and they're having questions of how can they see the kid, what can they do, or whatever else. And that's what we have in Tomika Bland on, who's a family court mediator who deals with those problems every single day. So this is something that you don't have to go to court for right now to go ask a question for. This is something that you don't have to actually get in front of a judge for and the judge tell you go see this mediator. This is something that you're being allowed to or being able to come on tonight's show, ask some questions, post some questions, call in, and basically try to build your case either stronger or go back to the drawing board and refix your stuff.
Right.
Now,
I will say, what?
Go ahead. I was going to ask a question, but go ahead.
Go ahead. You good?
So why do you think that people or families don't just go to the mediation process? Instead, they want to go full force into the court aspect of it. Is it because you guys think that people aren't communicating, or they're fighting, or they just can't, because I would think that my first initial thing would be to come to some type of resolution in mediation process before paying money to go to court, because it's mediation free.
I think when you get to a certain level in the divorce, like you just don't want to deal with them. And as far as mediation is for kind of to get y'all back together and tell you all these false things to me, how y'all can work things out, get back together. And of course, it's all about the kids. But when you fed up and you're done, you're done. You don't want to do any mediation with them. So that would have kind of involves that. And I think that's a lot of people don't look into mediation because, first of all, I didn't even know about mediation when I went through my own stuff until the judge, threw it out there, But by that point, it's like, yo, I'm done. Like, why do I need to go to mediation for? They just go ahead, go through it, and it is what it is,
Wow. So you skipped mediation process. You did.
No, I didn't skip it. So when I went through my own stuff and my own custody battle, mediation was recommended. All right, but I was in the Army and I was overseas a lot, so I couldn't do mediation. But when I came back and the whole process started, then the judge stopped and said, "Hey, was mediation ever done?" No. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to time this whole court issue out, the whole court case. Y'all going to do mediation for 2 hours. Like he ordered it right then and there. He's going to give y'all 2 hours on recess for y'all to go ahead and y'all make amends or whatever you got to do. Y'all go figure it out.
The thing about it is a lot of people don't know that they can just do mediation when it comes to a lot of things dealing with the separation when you're dealing with your children. A lot of times, a lot of things relate to your children. You don't even have to go to a court or anything like that. You can handle in mediation or on your own between the parent.
But a lot of things, mediation. But what I learned from mediation, a lot of things doesn't work because mediation is like, to me, it was like I was in there. She was telling her who was wrong, who was right, and at the same time, it wasn't going anywhere. So then it ended back to the court system.
So that's when people
that's my personal experience. I can't speak for anybody else.
So usually in mediation is when they cannot come to an agreement, when they actually decide to go the court route. Is that usually what happens when they can't seem to agree? Because a mediation, I guess, is to get you to try to come to some type of agreement so that you two don't have to shell out all this money and go through. But I imagine it's like you said, some of the issues are probably so tense and it's a whole bunch of blame game and all this kind of stuff and trying to prove your point that you probably just rather just bypass and go on to.
Yeah, a lot of, look, I'm telling you, it's very intense. It's a very nerve-wracking experience, man, and it's like you say, it's both parties trying to prove the point, and it's a lot of back and forth. So, like, yeah, to me, like, mediation is pointless unless you got two people that actually trying to hear each other out. Other than that, I'm not trying to hear you.
Is lawyers involved with mediation?
No.
Oh.
No, so it's just you two sitting there, you're saying your opinions and saying why I'm doing this, and then the other person is saying that, and then saying, hey, let's come to a mutual agreement. You know, that's why a court is involved, because y'all could have come to a mutual agreement. So the judge, either like myself, recommends it before the court starts, or it's ordered before you even go to court for mediation.
I didn't have to do any of that. I guess we just came. We knew we didn't want to be with each other.
Really?
So we just came. Yeah, my stuff was like, I listen to a lot of people tell their stories, and my stuff was so easy. It was just like, this is what we're going to do. This is how much you're going to pay. This is what we agree on. You're going to get the kids here. You have 48 hours to tell me you're not going to get them. Everything was ironed out. Made our agreement.
Mine was the same, Lenny. We didn't have to go through all this.
Well, baby, you know what? There we go. So when a guy try to get custody, it's the opposite then.
But it could be because
I'm just saying, know about you, because coming from
like my ex wasn't trying to.
So hey, there we go. We got Miss Tomika Blandon from the Family Court Mediator. So maybe a lot of questions she can ask or not. Also, I want to tell the audience, she is not legal advice, okay? So before you ask a question, she cannot legally advise you of what to do in your case. And I think anything else, she probably could tell you herself.
Yeah. So Blaine, I kind of want to pick up where you left off, because I want to make sure people understand what mediation is.
Okay.
So your lawyers can't be involved in mediation. Lawyers can't be present in mediation. Yes. If lawyers are involved, then the two parties will communicate through the lawyer will communicate through the mediator. So you have the option of doing 1-room mediating sessions or 2-room, meaning that one party's in one room, one party's in another room, and the mediator will go from one room to the next.
Wow.
So you don't have to be in the same room to mediate. There's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to mediation. Mediation is prior litigation. In all actuality, the court does not want to be involved in your custody battle. They didn't lay down in the bedroom to make those kids. They really do not want to be in that process. However, the court will get involved, like you said, if two parties cannot come together. So the mediator is a neutral party. There's no right, there's no wrong. The mediator is listening for clues to say, okay, well, you both agreed on every other weekend. Bam, we got an agreement there. So the mediators listen for terms where agreement can happen. Now, if two parties can agree.
Tamika, maybe you're one of this exceptional mediators, because guess what? When I sat there, it wasn't like that at all. I mean, yeah, the mediator listened to both sides, and then it was like she told. Well, I don't want to really say too much.
Yeah.
She took a side, and
not supposed to.
Really?
Wow.
Mediators don't take sides. We're neutral parties. It's a third party. They have no side. There's no right. There's no wrong. There's no truth. There's no lie, because the mediator doesn't know your story.
So Blaine, what made you feel as if she told that the mediator chose a side?
Well, men often feel that way. I mean, you're not the only man that will feel that way, because you feel defeated going into the process. That's why you have to be educated prior to the process. And
I didn't feel defeated, first of all.
You may not have, but it's a common subconscious feeling that going in, the mother's automatically gonna get custody, or they gonna listen to her. It's a common misconception.
And you know what? Speaking of which, you said that, you know, some men may feel defeated. I read online where some situations, well, it said, I think it said 80% of mothers are given the custody of the children. And then it was 7% of fathers are awarded custody. And then it said 13% are awarded joint, because I was shocked by those numbers.
Joint custody is primary. Most courts, especially, I'm more familiar with North Carolina and Virginia. If you were married, and it also depends on if it's an unmarried couple or a married couple. Now, keep in mind that when a child is born, nobody has custody.
What?
Huh?
When a child is born, neither parent
Hold on. I need you to say that like loud. Just say it loud. Cause look, I need the audience to hear that, because
y'all please
the perception and everything is saying, like, to me, when the kids are born and we divorce, the kids automatically, the mom has custody automatically. So you're telling me nobody has custody at first?
Think about it. Nobody cares about custody until there's a problem in a relationship. When you're married, you don't think about the custody of your kids unless you are preparing your will or you're preparing for the end times. So when a child is born, nobody has custody.
So it's like, is it joint custody then, or it's just no custody?
No custody has been established.
So why is it that the fact that, now I'll speak for guys. So why is it, and I don't know if you can legally advise or not.
Careful now. You can't speak for all guys, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Hey, bro. Hey, I speak for y'all right now. So when we go to court and we trying to, get custody of kids, to me, it feels like the court system is made for women to not give guys the custody, or it makes it hell for us to even try to get custody. Like,
so this is what I think the reason is, because the mother is going to be the nurturer of the children. So let's say the child is maybe a year old. Just hold on, let me explain. So let's say I breastfeed. Okay,
that's by choice.
Okay, that's fine. But
so let's say you go in feeling defeated, Blaine.
Huh?
Right.
And earlier you said you didn't go in feeling defeated.
Yeah, I know I like you, Tomika. I know I like you.
Everything you're saying is a defeated thought process.
I mean, she's always, if I'm breastfeeding and I bring that up in court, what judge would not grant me full custody if I'm breastfeeding my child?
You can always pump. Always pump and transport him the goods.
Exactly.
Suppose you're breastfeeding, but you don't have stable living conditions.
First of all, Lenny, get on my side. First of all, that's first.
Look. So like you saying,
but also the very early years of a child's life, I feel the mother plays a huge part in that.
A good mother.
The father does not, but the mother.
What? A father has a huge role to play.
Because I also want to say, I realize that most men don't even want to get custody until it's time to pay child support. Now, all of a sudden, you want to get custody because you don't want to pay child support. I'm just saying.
All right, you know what? I'm glad you said that, because guess what?
Just saying.
Let's reverse the roles, and I'm pretty sure.
Women pay child support too.
You said what?
She said women pay child support too.
I know. I just went dumb right there because because the difference on women paying child support and from guys paying child support is totally different. I know this because I live it right now, and not against her, but I'm not gonna throw in no details, whatever. Yeah, but I'm telling you right now, if it was me, I'd be locked up in jail. I know cousins right now that are trying to pay child support and are missing it because they can't afford the apartment and everything else. They ready to lock them up. I know women that's not paying the same amount, and guess what? They're not being told to go to court. They're not being told to or whatever else. They're not looking up their jobs. So to me, it's bias. You can't tell me None of y'all on here could. I'm sorry, no offense. None of y'all can tell me right now that it's not biased. Hey,
I'm gonna agree with you because I do feel the same way, Blaine. Like looking at, I don't have that situation in my co-parenting situation, but witnessing, like I have a lot of close friends that are males, and I feel so bad for them sometimes because it's like they always get like the jacked up end of the stick, and it's like it just feels like they are having the hardest times, and they have like all these
and I can tell you an example. When I was paying it, I was paying nearly $1,100. That's not even including me paying out. I'm still outside of that paying for my kids' clothes, still buying their shoes, still doing birthday stuff because I'm that dad. I'm still doing everything else, right? Then on top of that, when roles reverse, I don't get 10% of that. So there's no way telling me, there's no way you can say the system is fair because it's not. Because
somebody in the comments just said, so Toya just said her ex is not paying and he's not in jail. So
who?
There are some people who are not paying child support and they're walking around. Men.
Oh, you mean it's a Toya in the comment section?
Toya in the comment section.
Toya Yvette.
So is that Toya Everett?
Yes.
No, Toya Yvette, yes.
True Eric, it doesn't. I mean, look, first of all, Toya, did you file for it?
She said she said, I felt defeated because my ex brought his attorney and she couldn't afford one.
And that's exact. Hey, I feel her on that one.
Court appointed is always available. Generally, in custody, mediation is always giving us the first option. So even without an attorney, they could have attempted to mediate. If they decided to litigate, she could have asked for a court-appointed attorney. She could ask for an attorney where he paid a cost. I mean, there are options available. I think what happens is we don't seek out all of our options. We leave it to the other person, whoever's fighting the hardest, and then we back up. But there are always options. For if you're in North Carolina, you can go to the ncbar.org. It gives you a full pamphlet on what to do for custody, mediation, child support. All of it is available. Your legal aid in every state can assist with custody and child support.
Tamika, when I tell you I'm glad that you're on today, I'm gonna give you a high five. Boom, virtual high five. All right. But I love that you're on because I like how you just said that a court appointed lawyers. All right. Let's be serious.
We got to remember, it's not about the mother, it's not about the father. It's the best interest of the child. The court does not want to get involved.
Right.
We get the court involved when we can't mediate, which means you have two adults who had a child who cannot communicate, do not want to communicate, and do not want to come to an agreement on their own. They need help.
So I want to say something from experience too. Again, I'm sorry. So having a court appointed lawyer sucked. Because they had 30 cases they're dealing with. They're not only dealing with yours. Am I right? They had 30.
They have other cases.
They have plenty of cases they're dealing with, and on top of that, you're calling them every day. You're only getting a voicemail. You're getting a call back, or you're so supposed to get email. All right. So for people that can't afford that, a real lawyer. It kind of defeats them already because not only are you not able to talk to your lawyer one-on-one, you're not able to go through like I did strategy. You know what I'm saying? Like for people that's listening, look, if you're a guy, you just can't go to court against a woman and just think you're gonna win. You got to take years to build up a case. Personal experience. All right.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that. If you are a guy and you're trying to get custody of your child, research.
You're right.
And research is your friend. You can go to any law library for free. You can call down to the court and ask questions.
No.
Yes, you can.
I don't agree.
Why not? Let's talk about it.
Oh, we gonna talk about it, all right.
I like her. Oh.
Hey, so first of all, I don't like the fact that why would I call you to court to ask a question about it?
Because there are forms that you can complete on your own behalf.
No.
And it can tell you how to complete those forms. For example, if you want full custody, no one has established custody for the child. You're trying to get custody. That's a form. You don't need a lawyer for a form.
So is this a full case or half a case, or this like was it just a case just to find information out?
Yeah, be your own advocate.
No. I'm asking you. I don't know which one this is.
What, full or?
So if I'm a guy,
okay,
I want to find out information about her. So you saying
her, huh? The lady that you had the baby with?
No, I'm saying in general. In general. So I need to get a appointed attorney to file something to find out information about her, other than to build my own case.
No, you don't need an attorney to file for custody. That's where I think most people.
No. Okay.
He asking something totally different. He's trying to find out information about the other mother made the other parent look unfit.
Yeah.
What information do you need to know?
So I'm not. Yeah. So with that being said, I'm not trying to find out information about I'm not trying to file a case of custody. It's already filed. So what you saying? Well, I got confused that what you said was I need to go to court and be able to file some form to find out information in court, right, against her.
No, I said custody is a simple form. You fill out a form to say I'm applying for custody for child A, child B, C, D, however many.
Oh yeah. I agree. But what I'm telling the guys because I feel like the court system's already made for women that
it's not. You just saw.
Huh?
Mars got custody, and he had been fighting for custody for years. And finally, Gloria made a mistake.
It shouldn't have taken him years to get those kids.
But Tomika just said a key word. It was years. But at the same time.
Oh, wait a minute. They had joint custody, guys.
They had joint custody.
Joint. He just got full custody. That's the difference.
Who did?
Because the mom messed up.
Right.
I mean,
everybody slow down. Hey. Everybody talk at one time because it's coming in blur and I don't know who's saying what. So
okay, so as I was saying, so they had joint custody and now Matt has full custody because
correct. Yeah. Okay, now that's what Tomika's saying. Yeah, it took years for him to get that. But that's what I'm saying. So it took years for a guy.
It wasn't like he didn't have custody at all.
Right.
He had custody.
Yeah, but like I said, it took years for a guy to build up the case to get custody. That's exactly what I said.
No, he had custody. He doesn't have full custody.
It don't matter. I mean, I'm just saying, like, he's primary, right?
Well, you got to also realize too that the reason why he's primary custody now is because recently there was an incident that able to prove that he deserved primary custody.
Correct.
So it take him years to get primary custody. It took him. He's been fighting the mother of his children for years, just fighting her. Period. But she recently violated a restraining order. That's how he got primary custody.
So with that being said, guys or women, if you're listening, then just go to court and file him because you don't like him or you got some kind of dispute because he's dating somebody else. You got to have legit facts, and I can say that from experience. And I don't think you got to have legit facts.
I don't think that you should go in with, and this just is me. I mean, I'm pretty sure people come from when I say this, but I don't think that it is the mindset. You shouldn't go into this situation with the mindset of trying to make the other parent look bad.
Right.
You should go in with the mindset of trying to prove that you are a great parent.
Right.
And I think everything else will just play its own course.
Hey.
Now back to the guy. I'm with Blaine. I don't feel like it should have taken him years to get sole custody of his children. I mean, all they had to do was look at the TV show and see that she was not a good parent. I mean, like, real talk. So I think that with that being said, that's just proof to me that they give fathers a harder time with getting the kids.
But Lenny, real quick, so on the TV show, they were married, so it was no reason for that.
Right.
But what I'm saying is her behavior. She's a celebrity. Anybody can look at her behavior. I mean, she's been on other incidents where you can see her being unfit.
Tomika Bland, what you got to say? Because I see it. Come on.
Okay, that is a bag of marbles because it was times where he was considered dangerous and violent toward her. They had domestic violence issues. It was a lot going on in that case. So I wouldn't even use that as a model, but kudos. He got, temporary primary custody for now.
Erica,
I wanna. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we have some questions. We need to go ahead and get those questions out soon, quick, because we're coming up on 8:30.
Okay. So, I just want to say one thing. I want to say, Lenny, you already lost then, because to me, you said you can't go in there and make another person look bad or whatever else. Look, you got to go in that courthouse like it's war. I'm sorry. Look, when I went in that
wouldn't be my focus.
Huh?
That wouldn't be my focus on trying to make the other person look bad. I mean, they can already make
your
their
focus.
look bad. I would not, and like you were saying, wait a minute, let me finish. Saying is that you were saying that how do I research a person? That shouldn't even be what you're worried about. What you should be worried about and more concerned with is what do I need to do to prove that I can handle parenting this person. That does not mean that you go in and find out about that person.
Got you. I'm about to say if you go in this, but I'm about to say, because if you went in there timid and talking about you ain't trying to do that, you lost.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that a lot of times people miss the mark because they're so busy focused on the other person and trying to make the other person look bad, and all that does in turn is make you look really petty and immature.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick, so Tomika, Ms. Bland, so one of the questions we have for you is how are the children's choices considered in mediation when it comes to who the child should be with?
In mediation, that's up to the two people that are mediating. Those are the two parents. However, if it moves forward to litigation, depending on the age of that child, a guardian ad litem can be assigned, which is an attorney sometimes, depending on the state. But that person will represent the child's best interest if the parents.
Okay, so the child can't say, I want to stay with mom, not dad.
Doing mediation, that rarely comes up. However, that's more of a litigation standpoint. When most times children ages 10 or older can be considered as far as where they will want to reside and which parent they feel they will want to reside with. It's taken into consideration. It wouldn't be based solely on that. The judge would make that decision.
Okay. Now, can you kind of establish for us what criteria would make someone, I guess, not eligible to get full custody? So what characteristics would a judge be looking for to say, okay, this person's going to get sole custody?
That's tricky.
That's a tricky question, but generally it's going to be looked at where the kids are now, who has the kids most of the time, who's providing, who's nurturing, who's caring, who's picking them up from school, dropping them off. Again, in most cases, if you've been married, it's going to be joint custody. Then you have physical custody, then you have legal custody. So there's more than just full physical custody. So for example, I am divorced, I have full physical custody, and I have joint legal custody with my ex-husband. So the kids reside with me. He has liberty to see and do whatever he wants. Physically, legally, we make those decisions together. So
now are finances something that the judge looks at?
No, that's only a child support.
Okay.
That's not necessary for custody.
Yeah, that's
so those are two separate animals. But more than likely, when a person is filing for custody, they've already filed for a support order. So in order to get a support order, custody has to be established, but they are looked at separately. So it doesn't matter who makes the most money is not going to determine who gets custody, if that's your question.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I have I don't know if you can answer this, but I got a good question from Darisha Williams. What about when it's with a grandparent and not a parent?
Grandparents have rights too. So grandparents can file for visitation and custody. So for example, if you have two parents who are incarcerated or one of the parents are incarcerated and the other family wants visitation, grandparents can file for visitation or custody.
I know a situation where the grandparent, the father gave up his legal right and the mother was very young, but she was not found unfit and they still gave the custody to the grandmother.
It happens.
Because I'm seeing now, like Cora Hayes said, why is it a hard time for grandparents to get the custody? and maybe it's a situation like yours, or you just said, Tomika, with an E. And it's crazy because I've never seen or experienced it, but
my question is, if the mother is not unfit and she's just young, you see, why would the judge take, or whomever take the actual ability from the young mother to raise her children, instead of, the father was related to the grandmother who was fighting for the child, so he gave up his right. So his mom stood up and said, "Oh, I want custody." But in the situation, the mother was not. Even the paperwork said that the mother was not found unfit. So why did the grandmother get custody?
What type of custody did the grandmother get?
Full custody.
Interesting.
Yep, full custody, and it went back.
Hold up, pause. Hey, hold up, stop. I like how you said interesting. So that tell me that's a problem.
Again, a judge had to make that decision. That was not a mediator's decision. So a judge made that decision, and it depends on what was presented during that case. I mean, like, we only have certain information. So that's very interesting. So it could be something that was presented about that mother that gave the judge confidence in the grandmother.
I think it was the money factor.
It could be money, it could be age, it could have been stability. Did the mother move 3 times in 1 year? Did the mother have transportation issues? Was she unstable financially?
I think that
could have been so many other factors.
I went to court with them, and I actually was there when the judge said everything and made the decision. And when I tell you, we were so blown away and we were so shocked, because it clearly says that she was found fit. She's a fit mother. She was just young. So yeah, you're right. That's a very interesting situation. But in that situation, what do you suggest that the mother can do at this point to try to fight back?
Appeal.
Hey, have fun. Hey, I know you good, but something. Bam.
Appeal. She can always request for shared custody. Again, the best interest is the child. Does the child have a pre-existing relationship with this grandmother? Did she come out of the woodwork and was like, okay, that's my son's child, I want a relationship? So that's muddy water for me but she has the right to appeal.
Hey, from my experience, I would have appealed it instantly, but the issue is money when it comes to a lawyer. That's the big.
That was the factor. The money was the factor.
When it gets continued, you got to pay for that lawyer for that one. Then you got to pay the lawyer again, or whatever. You got to find a lawyer that's really love what they're doing and saying, you know what, you don't got to pay me for every continuance, and I'm gonna sit here and support you on this. That's very rare. And the audience, if you watching, don't get TV confused with reality. All right, because a lot of y'all get confused. All right. Y'all don't want to look up your own stuff. Y'all don't want to look up your own cases. You want to sit back and think your lawyer's going to do everything for you. You have to come correct. You have to come and look up your own information. You got to dig. You got to dig. You got to
be your own advocate, like Tomika said.
Yeah, you got to be your own advocate, and you got to come to the court, to the lawyer.
I never used a lawyer.
Yeah, to the lawyer and show the lawyer.
No, I'm saying I went through the process. I never used a lawyer.
Well, guess what? I'm sorry.
I mean, you don't have to if you advocate for yourself. If
Lenny said the same thing.
Yeah, but I can fuss real good, but then I can fuss real good, but look, once the judge say something, then I'm cussing the judge out. Then I'm getting thrown out. Okay, so I gotta get.
We have a good question up here now.
Huh?
We have a good question up here by Mr. Madison. His concern is that he's trying to reestablish contact and visitation with his 15-year-old. His son is in, I guess, another state. I can't see all of it now. But anyway, basically, can anybody see his comment?
Yeah. It says, do you want me to read it or you got it?
I can't see it. So
it says, how do I reestablish contact and visitation with my 15-year-old? He is in PA. I am in NC. My ex-wife has not responded to court orders. Parental alienation has taken place for years.
So could he just use that form you were talking about before?
He's in one state and she's in another?
Yeah.
what type of custody do they have? Does she have full sole custody? Does she have physical and they have joint legal?
I'm not sure. Is there some type of like website or something that we could refer them to maybe help them out?
He's in North Carolina. He's in NC.
Yes.
Yeah. ncbar.org.
Hey, he's in Raleigh.
NC what?
ncbar.org.
Okay, ncbar.org.
Mm-hmm.
See, but look, this is my issue with this. I have plenty of family members that I know that's going to similar situations like him, and the women are not upholding the court order. But yet, when it's brought to court, it's swept underneath the rug. So then you get the guys that I know that have 2 sons, 1 son, and they can't see their kids, and it's like, oh, well, he's a deadbeat, he's giving up. No, he's giving up because he's went through every measure that he could to see his son, but yet this woman has stopped him. So what can they do outside of that? I know,
where once a court order is issued, it doesn't matter if the mother or father, if they fail to abide by that court order, they can be held in contempt. So you go to the next step,
which is
filing court cases to say, okay, I'm filing a charge of contempt because they're not abiding by the court order. So if you never advise the court that, the other parent is not abiding by the court order, the court will never know.
All right. So look, for all my audience out here, I want everybody to know you can file a contempt. You don't need a lawyer for this, do you?
No.
Do you? And then you can go to.
It's recommended, but it's not necessary.
But the I forgot what it's called, but they'll help you file out the court.
You go file the CAPAS. You can file a CAPAS. You can go to the court and they'll tell you what forms you need to file, but it may cost you a couple of pennies or two to file that form. But if they are not abiding by the court order, then they're in violation.
Gotcha. All right. So look.
So Ms. Bland, I have a real quick question. So when they go to this website, do they just click on where it says quick research?
Yeah, they just want information on custody and child support. It is a child custody visitation and child support PDF on the NC Bar website.
Okay.
I can link it in the broadcast when we're done.
Okay, and then do they have to have membership?
No.
Okay.
It's free information.
Awesome.
Wow. So look, let's go back to Madison, man. It's crazy, and this is what I'll be talking about. Like, it's a biased situation. Order in place from a fraudulent. I don't know what PFA is. I wish you would have spelled it out.
PFA?
Yeah, what's PFA?
I don't know.
All right, hey, Madison, go ahead and post what PFA is. Just let us know, inform us, educate us. So order in place to.
And then also, what order is the what state did he let them?
It's Raleigh. It's Raleigh, North Carolina. That's
so everything is filed in North Carolina?
Yeah. So
okay. And the child resides in PA.
Order in place from a fraudulent PFA. They failed to bring her in to adjust the visitation. I paid for sheriff's service, paid for process server, all without any enforcement from the court, slap on the wrist for her. And he said, protection from abuse is PFA. What? Protection from abuse.
What was it again?
Protection from abuse.
Okay.
That's physical.
Yeah. And so that could be limit. Yeah, that's muddy water. He can inbox me. And I wouldn't want to really go into a bunch of details on the live stream about that because I could consider advising him legally.
Hey, look. After this show, we're gonna post Tomika's credential. Information. We're gonna promote her contact details. If you got any more questions, you can contact her one-on-one. Reach out to her. All right. It's 8:45. We're gonna open the phone lines up for questions, and we're gonna take it from there. All right.
Yes.
Hey. Before you make the call, let me tell y'all again, be mindful. She is not legal advice. She is not your lawyer. She cannot recommend you do anything. All right? Let me just say that right now.
You. And I am putting the number in the box right now. So don't everybody call at once.
Man, hey, that's crazy, man. I never thought that you can do so many things with the legal system, and it's crazy. I wish I would have knew half that I knew like years ago.
Should have did the research.
That's what happens. We get planning and we forget what resources are available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like, when I did my divorce, I did a lot of research. I mean, I did different research for different cities, different states. And when I went to him and said, "This is what I want. This is how I want it. This is what I'm expecting," we didn't have to do anything else because I had everything. Look, you paying half of it. You pay half of the divorce cost. We can go down here. You sign this paper. You only have to show up, and we can be divorced within a week, finalized in a week.
I mean,
that takes two mature people to come to that agreement too.
But that's also why it looks like women have the upper hand, because we're gonna research. You're not gonna catch us without knowing what we need to know.
Well, I'm sorry, I researched.
Well, a lot of men depend on other people to do their work for them. But that's a whole podcast.
Pause. Hey, don't get yourself muted real quick.
Yeah,
I'm just speaking the truth.
Tomika. So also too, hey, and also I want to say the lines are open. So call us. But I want to ask Tomika, you also not only do family custody, but you handle divorce mediation as well. Is that correct?
Yes, divorce, family, financial mediation.
All right. So you guys, y'all hear it. She handles those questions as well. So if y'all have any questions that she could give you a suggestion on, call in. The number is in the.
Or if you need a mediator to mediate your divorce, let me know.
Yes. Call in.
I'm trying to make it stay together like Blaine said.
Hey, she got that fire right there, boy. Hey, you want to win? Call Tomika.
The number is 828-799-0444. Call in with your questions. Remember, this is not legal counseling or anything like that. She's just giving you suggestions or from her experience. So again, call in with your questions. I know plenty of you have questions. Call your cousin, everybody, give them the number. They call in and ask their questions, and she will.
I gotta read this comment.
The best of her ability. But I wonder.
Hey, Brooks, call in, man. I want to know why you lost faith.
Like, we have a caller. Thank you so much for calling.
Appreciate you guys having this conversation. How we doing tonight?
How you doing, bro?
Hey, what's your name and where you calling from?
Savon Madison. I'm in Durham, North Carolina, the Bull City out here.
Bull City.
Go ahead with your comment.
So again, to address the question, the PFA is a protection from abuse. My concern is the countless families that are being torn apart from fraudulent claims of abuse with no signs, no history. They break up the families, and now they put what's called a vanilla order in place, which means that father or that mother can no longer see that child but once every other 2 or 3 weeks, and then they get a standard phone call every night. Yeah. So this machine that I talk about is the family court, process of ripping these children out of these homes and then putting vanilla orders in place. It's a standard practice, and it's not good.
So not to cut you off, man. This is Blaine Way talking to you. So what situation are you going through? This happened to you?
Absolutely. So it's happened to me, and I've sat in support groups from Pennsylvania to Florida to North Carolina, and a lot of men are dealing with this. Not just men, but women as well, but more so the men, because the system is biased. It is.
I agree.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that.
No, I want to ask him a question.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry. So, look, before you go off or whatever else, so what have you done outside of it being biased? Like, how have you tried to either create your own situation, or what have you done?
Absolutely. So I got a duffel bag full of paperwork trying to pull my ex-wife back into court to get the system or the case modified. She basically went off the grid, and the courts would not pull her in. They put the burden on me to serve her when she was missing in action, which is not right. And then they said, well, she has to appear when we issue the order. She fails to appear, she fails to call in, they cancel the case. So it's been a cycle, on and on and on. This is not an isolated incident. A lot of men are going through this all over the country. This is not an isolated incident.
So what happens when a person does not show up for court? I mean, isn't it like
they continue with?
Are you trying to get her to show up in court in North Carolina, or is this paperwork you filed in the state where she resides?
Correct. The case started in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. That's where the kids, they're in Pennsylvania, not specifically sure what county they're in right now. But with me residing here, I tried to put a parenting plan in place, even when I was in Pennsylvania, and they still would not go for that.
Hey, bro. I'm sorry. Tomika asked, so did they get served though? That's the main thing. Did they get served?
Okay, so here's the game. They said I had the burden was on me to serve her. So once I finally had a physical address for her, they said just send the paperwork and then proof of service. Okay, so when she fails to reply to that postage, they'll, like you said, they'll discontinue the case, and then it's like nothing. So you go back and you put the paperwork back in. Then they say, well,
I'll already tell you messed up 3 times already, or twice, and this is coming from perspective. Tomika, I'm not a expert, but from experience, I can tell you right now. Look, we said at the beginning of the show, you got to be an advocate. You got to take things in your own hands. All right. So with that being said, from experience, sometimes you got to pay out your pocket for that PI. That means that private investigator that's going to get her served, get it signed. Because once you serve her, they'll sign it and send it back to the court system saying, hey, she was served. You cannot send that through the mail and expect her to show up to court. Because guess what? I go to the mail, I open it up. I'm not showing the court either, bro.
Well, you also have to look at intrastate and interstate rules. So there's interstate and then there's intrastate. So it also depends on the jurisdiction in which she lives. If she's moved and it was originally filed in one state, she's moved to another state, you have to go by what those state guidelines are for serving.
You really have to investigate, man. And it's not in like, we're not talking nothing to you, but you got to investigate, man. You just can't serve her and think it's going to go through the mail and she gets served.
Absolutely. So the system that's in place, I hear you loud and clear. And like I said, again, it's not an isolated incident. So it's not just me that's going through this. Like I said, so after the court said, yes, do the postage, that didn't work. Then they said, well, send it to us and then send us $50. The sheriff will go out to her. They'll try 3 times. That didn't happen. Now I'm out of this money that's being sent to a sheriff's department to serve her. That didn't happen. That's 2. Then they say, well, hire a private investigator. Cool. So I hired a private investigator. They couldn't find her. And then once they did find her, she so the court is aware of all of these things and they do nothing. It's a slap on the wrist because they don't care. I'm on the clock and I'm on the books for my child support. So as long as that money's coming out of my account, everybody's fat, dumb, and happy. There's no issue.
Hey, look, I can't keep you on. Hey, look, we can't keep you on all day. So that's what I want you to do. Hey, look, message me and I'll give you some tips. I'll help you out the best way I can to get yourself,
All right. Well, we have another caller that's coming in. Thank you so much, Tavon.
You got it. You guys have a great evening.
You too.
You too, man.
Good luck.
Thank you for calling Speak Up. What's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Cora Hayes, and I'm calling from Richmond, Virginia.
Hey, Miss Cora.
Hello. Hi, Cora. What's your question or comment?
How are you all? I called in because I'm a mother, a grandmother, and a great-grandmother. And I've been going in the court systems getting custody of my grandkids. one particular grandchild, the mother didn't give us the option of getting the baby. She was in jail.
Go ahead,
She had the baby. She had the baby, and she gave the baby to her aunt. For 8 years, my son and I fought a battle. And when I say a battle, it was not a battle. It was really a war. It took us 8 years and a different judge in order to get my grandchild and my son's daughter back. When we got the child back, the child had been abused from a baby on up, sexually abused. Now she's 18 years old. She's all messed up. And the system just didn't do anything. The court failed her. And I have been to court with other people just for support and sitting there, and I see how the court fails the parents, especially the young men. But what I find with the young men is their appearance when they go to court. You know, they don't, I mean, you don't have to be a Brooks Brother dresser or whatever, but you could go in with a nice sport jacket and a shirt and a tie and a pair of pants. Most of them go in there with jeans. The deputy has to tell them they got to pull their jeans up, they need a belt on and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
So appearance has a lot to do with that. But for the young man that's hosting the show also, you definitely do have to be your own best advocate. Your best advocate. Now, I'm on the board of directors of both legal aids here in Richmond, Legal Aid Justice Center and Central Virginia Legal Aid.
All right.
So when I went to court, I had my stuff all together, but I had to keep on going, filing papers to get this case out of one judge court into another judge court. And it wasn't until that judge retired and we got the case into another court and we got custody of the child. So I empathize with the young man, Mr. Madison. I really do, because I see firsthand what my son goes through, and I really empathize. But I thank you all for this podcast. It is very interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling in.
Have a great day. Thank you for calling WTP Speak Up. Please turn down your whatever device you're using to watch us so that we can hear you clearly. But what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, sorry. This is Latoya. I'm calling from Florida.
Hey,
Hi, Latoya.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. Can you hear me?
yes, we can.
Okay. So, my situation is complicated, I guess. So, if you don't mind, I'm gonna give you a short backstory. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, my ex and I were together for about 3 years, and we separated. Blah blah blah. And I told him, I'm not gonna, like, as long as you help me, then we don't need to go through any legal stuff or whatever the case is. So he said, cool. And I waited for 3 years. And I finally decided, okay, I can't wait anymore. Like, I'm doing this by myself. And I filed for support. And he told me that if I filed for support, then he was going to file for custody, which he did. So, and I got out of the military. We were both in the military. I got out of the military. He's still in the military. We went through all this legal issue. And I know Blaine feels like, the system is, geared towards women or whatever the case was. But I felt like, because he was military, that I was at a disadvantage. And so now here we are, some odd years later, my daughter's 8 years old now, and I'm still not getting any type of support. He's gone on, he's still doing, the military thing. He's married, he's produced more kids, and he's telling me he can't help because he has other responsibilities. And
hold on, I'm confused. You say he's still in the military?
No. Yeah, he's still in the military. I know everyone told me, oh, go to his command, go to this, go to that. I've tried. last year, and I posted this in the messages last year, this was not known to me. I didn't find out until the center actually came to me and told me. But my daughter informed her aftercare center that my ex and his wife were abusing her.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. Hey, look, where you at again?
I thought, hello?
Say that
Where you at?
She's in Florida.
Yes, I'm here. I'm in Florida.
I'm sorry. Look, I kind of been through something similar to that. So look, with that being said, you ask your questions, but outside of that, inbox me. I'm gonna tell you who you need to talk to, as far as on post, the general, and everything else. How to get in contact with them, military on a military side.
Nice.
And who has you need to turn.
I have a question about the court issue of it, because with the abuse thing, my daughter informed her aftercare center that she was being abused, and I filed documentation. This was in August of last year. We're in November, going into December, going into 2019. This happened in 2017. What do I need to do? What do I need to do? Because I'm not getting any help on this end when it comes to that issue. The court says she still has to go there, and if I don't take her there, then I'll be held in contempt for not following this court issue, this court document.
So the court order that you're speaking of, is that visitation?
Yes.
Okay, filed an amendment to amend the visitation order until the child is seen. Is she in counseling?
Yes.
And has the counselor given any notes to the court? Like, is there any reason why you haven't changed the visitation order?
I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything. I started this process in August of last year, and I go down to the courts. I haven't heard anything. I'm checking my mail. I haven't heard anything. I go to the courts at least once a month.
And you say you have an attorney, or no?
I don't know what it's like in North Carolina, but my daughter. She's first off, she's a female, and she's a young girl, and she has to go. She cries when she has to go over there. What do I do?
Man.
That's crazy.
You say you do have an attorney?
I don't. I can't afford one. I'm not. And I know this is going to sound really awful, but if he would actually, pay his support, maybe I could afford one. But I can't afford an attorney.
So look, this is what I'm asking. So he's in the military. Is he in the reserves? Is he regular Army? Is he what is he in?
Is he Navy?
He's a E5 in the Navy.
No, I'm asking. Okay, regular. Okay.
Yeah, the Navy's a little different than the Army.
Whatever.
Because I don't want to necessarily give you legal advice over the live stream. If you inbox me, I do have some resources I'll be willing to share.
I will.
Awesome. Thank you, Toya.
Hey, you can hit up me or Tomika.
We're praying for you, honey, because that's a jacked up situation.
Make sure you inbox both Blaine and Tomika, because they both have some resource information for you. And thank you for being transparent and calling in and sharing your story with us and asking for some.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right. So,
wow.
It is 9:04. Do we want to wrap up the calls, Blaine, or how do you want to do this at this point?
Man, we hitting so many. I feel we got 5 more minutes. I'm gonna say 5 more minutes just because how everything's going, and we're trying to help people.
That's it.
So what would happen if she just stopped allowing them to get the child?
She'd be breaking the court order.
Him. She could be considered in contempt, but he would have to want to file that. And if
if he files it, and then she would be forced to bring up the issue as to why she would not allow her child, and that should make them pay attention to it.
I don't know if I'd rather risk that.
That makes sense, Lenny.
That's muddy water. Depends on the judge. You could get a judge that's just straight by the book, black and white, and be like, okay, well, you could have waited until your issue was seen.
And then she has proof of where she's gone through the court system. She says she goes.
So it really depends. The outcome really depends on the judge at the end of the day.
That is so sad.
That's why it's better to mediate without litigation, in my opinion. But I know circumstances are different, and some people just can't seem to get along with that other person. But y'all got along for that quick 5, 15, 20 minutes. But that's neither here nor there. But
can Can you look up stuff and like know who your judge is or recommend a judge for your case?
Can't recommend.
Sometimes you don't have no control over that.
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah. More times than not, you don't even know who the judge is until you get the order saying you got court on this date and this time, and this is the judge.
She press charges?
However, if you have an attorney, you can have your attorney request a judge, but I haven't seen on a personal level where the defendant or the plaintiff can request a judge. That I have not seen.
That's crazy.
I'm not sure if it's possible. I'm not a lawyer.
But is
right.
To press charges against the father? Because isn't it true that with children you're guilty and have to be proven innocent first? Like, should she file some type of? That's just really sad. I'm sorry. That just really
is sad.
I can't see my child came in and said
the issue with the military is it's not just state. You have a person who is a federal government employee who is going to be protected by the federal government.
Okay, they're protected by the federal whatever that means.
Can they
she can file, but
they can go to JAD though.
File on many levels.
That's true, Blaine. Yeah, she
go
could.
to JAD.
But because she's not a spouse, will she get?
Yeah, but she's not a spouse, so JAD will not represent her.
I'm sorry. I don't think she was a spouse, because if she was a spouse, she could go straight to JAG and it'd be it.
Not a spouse, so she wouldn't.
Yeah, she's not a spouse.
But she has a kid. She has his kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
She could still go to JAG then.
I don't know.
I think so.
Not unless she has a military ID. They get access to military benefits.
She should have one.
Look, if his name was on our birth certificate, she could do damage.
She's prior military, guys, so she definitely has military ID, and I'm not really sure about the birth certificate, but
the prior military don't matter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it matters what is on that birth certificate, and if it's his child. If it's his child, she could do damage.
Lenny really had the best plan. Just stop taking your child over there, and then if he decides to file,
if his name is on that birth certificate, holla at me.
Right.
I'll tell you what you need to do.
Shoot.
Or how to turn some heads in the military.
Got to go back anyway.
Cause the thing with the military, they want to leave. When you call so many people, like they don't want to be bothered. When you get up to a certain level, it's like, oh, I don't want to be bothered with such. So then they start referring you down to here. They refer you here, and then next thing you know, they're gonna solve the thing because they don't want you keep calling the general. They don't want you to keep calling their boss.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you got to think about. Call the boss.
How does the Navy work? I know the Army. How the Army
military the same. Hey, look, call the boss or walk up to the boss. You gotta be some kind of crazy with it.
You gotta advocate for yourself, like Tomika said.
Exactly.
Yeah, you gotta be in the Army though.
You gotta be 90%.
You can easily hide in the Navy sometimes.
Look, for y'all military. Y'all gotta be 90% sane, 10% crazy.
Yeah, you gotta know who's who on the base. I mean, you can always start with JAG or legal department on the base and see. You can always try to go to the command, but sometimes that backfires. It just all depends on who that person is.
Yeah, and that's true. That's the truth.
And that's whether they're military or not. I mean, if you have somebody that can paint a picture,
yeah, it's
the person who paints the best picture to the judge. So I am a mediator.
Right, Lenny.
I prefer mediation over litigation.
I ain't talking about no washable crayon.
Look, it's 9.
When you get to litigation, it's all up to the judge and who paints the best picture.
Honey, she better get that acrylic paint.
Look, hey, buddy, look, it's 9:10. It's time for us to close it out. Hey, look, we had our guest, Tomika Blaine, on.
Thank you,
guys. Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's been fun.
Thank you for coming on. And once again, if you didn't ask questions, you missed out. And catch her next time when we have her back on. Yeah, have a good night.
Good night, guys.
See y'all later.
I'm sorry. Well, see you later, Tomika.
Bye.
I'm sorry.
Bye. Thank you for coming on.
Her contact information is going to go down there so that you'll be able to contact her, send her inbox.
And I'll add the link for anybody in North Carolina for the Bar Association pamphlet that I mentioned.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
My pleasure.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Thank you. Hey, anybody watching the show, just let y'all know next week we'll not have a show. It's Thanksgiving. We want y'all to be with your families. You have a good time. Whatever else, you enjoy yourselves. We would not, once again, we would not be on. I will be eating a turkey,
greens, beans, tomatoes,
turkey,
ham,
honey ham, cornbread, some greens. Hey, somebody play the song. You already know what I'm talking about. Hey, that's what I'm gonna be eating. You would not be on the show next week. All right. If you come on the show, you come on a waiter parent, guess what? You're watching yourself. All right. I don't care. So with that being said, hey, look, I like to thank everybody joining in. Share the content for the day. You can help somebody with the content that will spread it out, whatever, spread out tonight. And we'll holler at you after the holidays. Okay?
Want to follow up on our past shows, and you want to go to iTunes, Spotify, and what is it, Google Play?
Oh,
catch us as well on YouTube. You can catch
exactly. Us. So, like Tomika said, Spotify, Google Podcast, iTunes, download us, subscribe, whatever else. You know what I'm saying? We on all platforms now. Y'all better download. All right. Hey, look, y'all have a good night, you know, because I'm going to have me a good night, and I'm going to have a good Thanksgiving next week, eating some turkey, baked turkey. I can't even wait. Look.
Do it, Lenny, do it.
I can't even wait. Y'all don't understand. Look. Let's go. I'm about to twice. You know what I'm saying? I can't even wait.
I can't wait. Give a shout out to my Yvonne for that meal you about to put together. We appreciate you in advance. I will bring the paper plates.
Look, y'all just look, and y'all want to invite one of us just to be nice. Let me know, because I love some honey ham. Honey ham.
I just want some dressing.
It's about me though, really. But
all right, guys.
Okay.
All right, guys.
All right. Good night.
All right. Hey, everybody have a good night. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining.
Deuces.
Excuse me.
Yeah, you got hiccups. You ain't even got 8.
Right.